leader that elder that
I'm going to use an example here. My first word that I'd like to share here. Yesterday, I gave a bunch of examples, and I'll go into those examples in more detail some other time. But I just wanted to start off. These are one of the first words that I learned. One of the first ones, and I would take one word like this, and this word here is ksa. Ksa. Now, best way to describe ksa is just showing you, and I just go like this. Ksa. If I took this apart like that and separated, I always like walking towards the camera to share everybody there. Ksa. It's something like that. Ksa. I'll show you guys something really cool. This actually, you could change this word. You'll notice when you're learning the word for wisdom, you'll learn that as well. Of course, it makes sense if you're on a pathway and you're learning something like this, and then you learn something new, you break off from that road and you go into a different direction like that. So it splits. You know, I learned something. I knew how to do something for a long time, and then I broke off from that way, and I'm trying it new. So you'll know you'll learn later on, woksa for wisdom. Later on, you'll be able to do something like that. Just by changing that little word and adding a wo in there, you can change the dynamic of what that word means. And so here's another way to change this word. And so keep in mind, anything that separates, right? Ksa would be separating like that, or dividing. That could be the idea of, or for the word wisdom too. Ksa, you're divided, you're split from an old knowledge, and now you learn something new. So split. So now I'm going to do something else here. There's ksa, ksa, ksa. All right. These words are really, really important. Here's one way to change this word. I'm going to add this one right here. Boksa. Bo. Bo. Now, if I said it that way, imagine this is like a stick or a twig or something like that, and I took a gun, or if I punched it like that and then it split it. If I had a gun or something like that and I punched it in some way and then it split, we would say boksa, boksa, boksa. Just one little change like that with one little word changes that. How is this split? How is it split? That's what we're going to change each time. And so there's another way I could split this. If I use my foot and I went like this, like that, I'm gonna try this. If I use my foot and split it, or if I took a stick like that, and then you'd see me hit it like that, and then that stick goes and breaks in half. Now I'm gonna change it again. Oh, sorry, those of you at home. That probably sounded loud. Mic check. Are we okay? Sorry about that. Okay, where am I? Okay, so now let's change that to na, naksa. So these are the ones I'd hope we can study these ones. Bo, na, and wo. We'll be studying those little words. It's this word I'm not really focused too much. It's these little words here that change this word here. And that's what the magic of learning Dakota is, how one word can change the whole word like that. And so how we do that and why we do that, that's what I want to share. So that you yourself can make up new words on your own just by learning these little processes. Okay, I have all these written down because I always forget. Ba, ba, ba. You'll hear this at a powwow. Sometimes you say baksa, baksa. Now that that's the action of if you're going to use a knife. If I took a knife with this and I'm sawing it like that, or some kind of a sawing action, we can say, and then I split it, that becomes baksa, baksa. One little word change like that. So later on, Well, these are the words we'll be trying to memorize here. Bo, na, ba. Most of the words that I'm going to teach you are just 3 letters, 2 letters. Sa, ma, ni, ba, bo, ga, sa, se. All those little words. You put all those little words together, you'll make a big word later on. And then so rather than us trying to memorize the whole word, right? We'll know all the little words that make the big word. By the way, again, I did an example yesterday. Let's do this in English. Here's an example of how we learn English. Spect is to see. Re is to do it twice. Respect. See twice. See, English does the same thing. I could tell you what respect is and tell you go on long, big old story of what respect means. Or I could tell you the root word spect and re is to see you twice, right? So I give you a second look. I don't just look at you and look away. I look at you twice. I really see you. In other words, I see you. I guess you could say respect could be a way of saying I see you, right? I acknowledge you. In other words, I respect you. I acknowledge you. I don't ignore you. So now we're at to shoot, to use your foot, and to saw. Bo, na, and ba. Ba. And we talked about this one the other day, and this word right here is so important in Dakota. Man, you hear ga all the time. By the way, I said this the other day. You're going to see me draw this like this. This is why I'll say, when you're learning the language on your own, you're not always going to say the words correctly. I try to fix that. And so this word right here, it's a K and a G mixed together. Can you guys see how I did that? So later on, you're going to know not to say ha, ha. You're going to say ga. You'll notice that. Hey, it's a mixture of a K and a G mixed together in there. We don't say wakankada. We say wakankeda, right? Wakankeda. So this word, when we say this K to G, I always make sure that's there because we have to remind ourselves that we're going to say ga. And where you make that noise, by the way, is that fat part on the back of your mouth. You know where it's soft on the back of your mouth? Ga. Ga. And so in the language, this could mean impact, right? And so the same thing here. Ksa, if I hit it with an axe, ah, ga, then it splits. That's hitting something and making it split like with an axe. Gaksa. 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 You can take this word later on, split, and then you could use a different one later on instead of ksa. And you could take a whole new word and change it all up later on. So ga, ksa, gaksa. Yeah. Ga, ksa. All right. And then so we have another one. If we just did it with any old way, we would say with your hand. Let's say if I was going to be peeling almost like corn, splitting it up like that. This is a very, very, very important word. You. It's a causation word. Like, for example, I'll give you an example of how this one can change later on. If I say washte, it's good. You washed it. They made it good. It caused it to be good. But yuksa, in this case, I guess you could say generic, any old way. You're splitting it up any old way. But in this case, we're using your hands. Yuksa, yuksa, yuksa. Now, very important for the kids to know this one, bite. Bite, if you're going to use your mouth to split, right? That's a different one there again. Ya. Ksa. Yaksa. That's if I was going to use my mouth. And so these are the ones here, if we can study these ones. Wo, bo, na, ba, ga, you, and ya. That's all the different ways you can influence the world, right? Your hand, you could shoot it, you could, different ways you can manipulate the world. That's how we use these ones here. But I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about this you one a little bit, not too long, but just a bit. And just kind of give you an example of how you could, I guess you can say here, now that we're doing language, we got good vibes going. And so we're creating goodness, right? And so how do we say good in Dakota? We all know that one. Shte, shte. You know, I even look at, you can look in this word. We don't, you ever notice we don't say washte? We don't say washte. We say washte. It's a TD in there again, right? That's a new one for me. So this really helps because we don't have this in the dictionaries, the language. And man, we got into arguments a lot of times with other language speakers. They can't learn the language at home reading it because of the different sounds and the different things that happen. I was like, well, how do we fix that? I'm always think solution. How do we fix that? And that's how the best way I can come up with it. Came up with my own letters. It's a TD. Yeah, washte, washte, washte. Yeah, so it's good, right? And so now, just holy man, they made some goodness happen. He made some goodness. Just one person did that. Yuashte. Yuashte. Or like if we were gonna clean something, right? They like kind of make it white. They kind of make it white. Yuska. I used to hear that one, right? When you want to clean something up, yuska. You make it white, in other words. Make it. To make something, right? Or to cause it to happen. You. This word here is really, really important. You. And so later on, you can go through this book right here. This, and then you go to the you section, and then the YU part, and then you'll notice all of the causations, the how to make something happen. You could even say you shicha. Oh man, he made it no good, man. He's this grouchy guy. His energy was all off. Maybe somebody that's always grouchy and give him that Indian name, Yushicha. Oh, look out, here comes Yushicha. Yeah. And so when we were talking about the little kids earlier, the little ones, the main thing that I always talked about with the little ones is how they affect the world, right? And so that's why this word you is so important, because you affect the world in different ways, right? And so when you use that word you, it comes in handy. So how we use that is going to be so important here in the near future, in the future. And so, okay, I just wanted to show those. That's the first part. I have little parts I'm showing. These are sections that I have, and this is just one part that I imagine as we're going along here, we could take, this will be like, on this part here, it'll be like an introduction, but later on we can have fun and make new words. We'll have fun with it. We'll make all kinds of new words with just this style here, just doing this. We'll do like little practices and stuff like that. But this, in the beginning, this will be just the lesson part. And then maybe as we're going along, we could mess around with words, literally. I always even think of taking these little sounds like this, ba, bo, ni, ka, all those, put them all together. What does that say? What does that say if you put these together, these words like that? Sometimes it won't make sense. Sometimes it will. But that's the fun part of learning to speak Dakota, because you're building words. You're building it. And once you know how to build the words and learn the rules, it really makes a good time for everybody. By the way, something really, 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 really simple, real quick lesson we can learn here. Boksa, that'll be one person shooting a hole and something and making it split. Now, if there's 2 or more people, all we have to do is add B. And this one is a PB. B. 2 or more people, right? Wachi is 1 person dancing. Wachi B. 2 people dancing, or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or a whole bunch of them. So just one little change like that changes the whole dynamic. Anytime we hear P at the end, and you notice I'm not saying P, wachi P. Wachipi, right? Wachipi. So that one right there is my very special little letter there, PB. PB. Because you'll notice I'm not saying P or I'm not saying B. It's a mixture. P and B together. Wachipi. 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 So just remember that whenever we hear P at the end, more than 2 people. 2 or more. 2 or more people. Just simplified it, right? Made it real simple. That's why they say P at the end of those sentences. Yeah. Just one little thing like that. So very important. Always look at the end of the sentence. Are they talking about 1 person or 2 people? Right? Okay, cool. We'll move on from that. Move on from that. So we got to recap, we got the bo, na. Bo is the shoot, na is the foot. Baksa is the sawing. Gaksa is if you hit it with something and it splits. So if you see somebody chopping wood, that will be gaksa over there. Gaksa. Yuksa, he's just with his hands or something, or splitting it up any old way. Yaksa, you see him with his mouth ripping it apart. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay. Now, I know a lot of us, this is what when I asked about this class, they said intermediate. So we're kind of like assuming that we all know stuff a little bit at least, right? And so, but for the sake of just starting fresh, we're just going to go through some of these real fast. Everybody go, let me see. Look, put 2 things in front of you, the one closer and one further away, right? Okay. One. So if those of you at home, put 1 thing right in front of you and then put something a little bit further away from you if you can, looking right in the camera, right at you. So put 1 thing in front of you and then put 1 thing a little bit further away. Now in English, say the one that's closer to you, say this. And then the one that's further from you, say that. Right? Now get your mind used to that idea. This, that. Okay? This and that. Okay? Now we're going to switch it into Dakota. De. He. De. He. Here, I'll put 1 here for myself. So this one. Okay, here's I have two of these. This and that, right? This and that. De. He. De. He. All right? Okay, we got all that down. Real simple. So we understand that de and he. Keep in mind, you'll hear this at the end of a sentence once in a while. It's changed. If you see that at the end of a sentence, that changes its meaning there. Homonym, that we call it. Homonym. Learned that off of what was that? What's that show we were just talking about? Austin Powers. Homonym. Okay, so de is this and he is that. Yeah. So very important for kids to know those ones because they want to orient themselves. Well, which one are you talking about? This one or that one? Yeah. This or that. You know, that's so kids should know that one right away. This and that. Yeah. Hey, watching. I want that one. Here's a real simple sentence. Watching. Very important for kids to know this, right? Because they're always wanting something. By the way, when you see me draw an N with a little nose on there, it means your nose has to vibrate when you say that. The more you close your mouth, the more nasal your nose gets. Most of us know how to say that because when we're kids, we get cold. We go. We don't say e, we say right? There's a nasal sound on there. So if you notice with these ends, like I say, chi. If I take rid of that, it says chi now. Chi, 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 chi. So you see the difference there. So sometimes you'll hear people get confused with this one, dance and want. If I put wachi, it's to dance. Wachi is to desire something or want something. So now you're gonna, if you teach your kids this, you're gonna hear it all the time once you go to Walmart. Hey wachi, hey wachi, hey wachi, hey wachi. Hey wachi. And then, of course, for the young ladies, they're gonna say, "Hey, watching, yeah, hey, watching, yeah." They're gonna say, and the young boys, "Hey, watching, do." Yeah, that's cool when you hear those little girls when they say that, like the little ones, "Hey, watching, yeah," or "Hey, watching, do." It sounds really cool. The little ones. Just a little bit of a reminder, too. We don't just say the language; we sing it. Hey, watching, yeah. Ba ba da ba. Get used to knowing that song because a lot of times people are saying, "Hey, watching, yeah." I don't sound right. Hey, watching, yeah, because you're not singing. You gotta sing. Hey, watching, yeah. And so that's why I say get to listen to the Meadowlarks. Meadowlarks will teach you how to talk Dakota. Use the accent of a Meadowlark. All right, there's the Dakota accent. So if you're finding you're talking the language and then you don't even sound that great to you yourself, it's probably because the accent is off. You're probably saying it correctly, but the accent is not there. And so I want you guys to say, wow, I sound beautiful how I'm talking, right? And the only way you're going to be able to do that is if you get the accent down. Then you'll feel good about it. Otherwise, you're going to be just talking like this monotone. But Dakota, monotone. Dakota were never monotone. They're singing what they're saying. Even those birds, I always remember you go outside here, you go, those birds go. And then you go home and Kushi, hello. Same old language right there, right? Hello. So, okay. De. Okay, now, if you guys can, here, next one, put two things in front of you, and you could take a piece of paper and rip it up or do whatever. But so now it's not de anymore, right? So there's a couple of them. And then we're going to put two things away from you. And so in English, we're going to train our brain to say what we're saying here. So now we're going to go these, those, these, those, right? So now that we're getting our English, what we're doing here in English, now we're going to do it in Dakota. Dena for these. And henna for those. These, those. So let's practice that. Dena, henna. Dena, henna. Dena, henna. Dena, henna. Right? Okay, so we got that. So you guys can practice those over and over and over and over because the kids are always good. These actually, These words are going to replace the words you don't know how to say yet, right? Because you can't say hand me that thing or hand me, because there's a lot of words. So you could replace it with just hemaku, right? Demaku, this or that. Because you don't know the words. We'll learn more words as we're going along. But for a long time, you can get by in Dakota by calling everything this and that and those, right? You can get by. Everything is a this, that, and those. So you can get by a lot. And so, but later on, you'll replace this with the actual noun, with the actual thing that we're talking about. Okay. And so this sentence can work with these things as well, with watching. We'll use that watching because it's simple, right? Dena watching. I want these. Dena watching. I'll emphasize that. Ching. Dena watching. I want these. Dena watching. Dena watching. You'll notice I'll repeat over and over. This guy said it 1,000 times. Jeez, getting tired of hearing it. But that's why it's repetition. I want to get that stuck in our heads. Dena watching. Now we point to those things. Hena watching. I want those. Hena watching. Hena watching. Once you teach these to the kids, you'll be hearing this all day long. Because that's what most kids say is what they want, right? Yeah. Yeah. Who wants to go outside? Hey, wachi. I want that. Yeah. 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 Hey, wachi. You'll hear that more and more. And actually, that's how we'll do it. Is slowly, you replace words that you use every day with one word somewhere. Figure out if you can. And this is one of the things that we could be doing. What are the most common words that you use every day? What are the common most things that you say every day when you wake up, when you go to work? Those words, write those words down. Those are the words that we're going to get you speaking. It's switching your vocabulary as quick as best we can. So henawachi, denawachi. And just like how I added B at the end, this one, real simple. We're going to change this sentence here, and we're just going to add shni at this last one. You know, those of us that watched Wayne's World long time ago, we always knew not was at the end. Well, that was a really totally excellent show. Not, right? And so in Dakota, we do it like that. That's how we do it. Yeah. That was good. Not. We do it like that. So just remember, if you hear shni at the end, that's not good. Hokshira kinde washte. Shni. Way later. I'm going to tell you something too, a little bit about that word kinde, a little bit too. So don't remind me. Kinde. I'm going to write a little note right here. Because I was going to talk about slang. We use slang in Sioux Valley. And when I was first learning Dakota, I was learning the old longer versions. So I didn't know what ampetug meant. What does that mean? It sounds kaka to me, I used to say. Ampetug. You know, it sounds Ojibwe. It sounds different. And I noticed only in the Canadian Dakota say that. If you go down south, they don't say that. But the kinde, this is the, it's like saying ampetuki, the day, shunkaki. They'll shorten and just say shunkag. Shunkag. Right? And so you'll notice everybody talks like that. And that's all. I asked Uncle Donald, I said, what happened? How come in Sioux Valley, only here? How come? And he said, that was us that did that. I was like, who? Us, our generation. So those guys that were born 1918, 1920, that younger generation, when they came back, the language got fast. And I think it's because of the cultural change. You know, we went from taking our time, enjoying life to hurry. So the language sped up. And and there was a lot of shortcuts that were made. So instead of saying shunka wakan, shuka, just everything was real fast. So for the sake of history, I use the old style. Chanupa kinde, ampetu kinde, shunka kinde, shunka kinde, like that. And then later on, you could add the slang when you want to. However, you could do the slang. But we'll teach the non-slang version. And then after a while, you'll get really good. You'll notice everybody talks slang anyways, so it'll be real easy for you to learn. As long as we know why ampetug. What is that, right? Ampetug. When you hear that, it's a short for the word ki. Ampetu ki, the day. Ki. By the way, that word ki, again, ki, kg. Ki. It's not a ki, right? Ampetu ki. It's ki. So it's a K and a G mixed together. Ampetu ki, ki. And then the nasal nose on there too. So make sure that your nose vibrates on that one. Yeah. Ki. And so you can say all kinds of nouns here, right in front. The dog, the horse, the car, But you'll notice in Dakota, we're behind and not the front. It's not ki shunkawakan. Ki shunkawakan. It's shunkawakan ki. Ki. Yeah. All right. That's the one. I just wanted to make that little note on that one. So to recap here, and then we'll take a little bit of a break because am I doing good, by the way? Is this great? Cool stuff? Yeah. Awesome. How's my audience out there? Good thumbs up? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, good. Whole bunch of thumbs down. He's speaking the wrong dialect. Just kidding. We talked about that too. There's all kinds of dialects we have, and we're gonna honor each one of them. Somebody's gonna come in here and say, "My grandpa said zitkana, not zitkada." Like that's fine. That's good. That's chances are your grandpa's probably from Chancaja Watina, because sometimes you hear the na over there in Birdtail. So we honor that because that's your family history. And actually, if you go and sit down to some of our language speakers, if you listen, you'll be able to tell if they're Bedewakan or if they're Wakbekute or whatever tribe they come from. You'll be able to figure out where their family comes from, just how they're speaking. And so I think that's really important. And so to recap, what I like to do is I don't teach big words and make a big old long words right here. I break them down, right? Break them down so that you understand. At one time, this used to be cha kanya copy. Oh, that's a whole sentence. That's a whole sentence right there. So we'll break that down and how we break that down and what those mean on that one. So we got boksa to shoot, naksa, baksa is to saw, baksa is to saw, gaksa if you're hitting with hitting something. Ga, anytime you like it's like an impact, right? Ga. And I'm going to talk about this word a little bit more down the road again because I did bring it up on our first day, but I'm going to bring it up more. And if you if you go into this book later on and go into the ga, you'll notice a similarity with all those words. They all mean something very similar. There's a meaning behind that word ga. So I just wanted to make a point of that. Yuksa, you're doing it any old way with your hands or however, and you're splitting it like that. Yaksa is you're using your mouth. You're using your mouth. Yeah. And then woksa up here, it'll be like a wisdom. By the way, this woksa is actually a spirit too. And I'll go into, once the snow hits the ground, we'll be able to talk about the origin of these words too as well and where they came from, because we have to go into creation stories. Once we go into creation stories, we'll be able to hear the origin of these names. I'll give you a real quick example of that. There's two I'm not going to go into too much. I'm just going to say two of the spirits from a long time ago. Huh was a spirit. It was the spirit of night, darkness, and then Those are two spirits, huh and They're spiritual beings that lived with Ia a long time ago. I'm not going to go into details because Grandpa said, hey, Snake is going to end up in your teepee tonight now. They'll say that. You're not supposed to tell stories. So I respect that. So anyway, here's just an example. And so later on, a word from this, huh, is a spirit of darkness. Is like that glowing color that you see from like a lava. It's like a that color, like an orangish color. That's that. And those were the only two that existed. And so later on, we developed the words hayetu for like the nighttime, dark nighttime, hayetu. And then during the day, petu. Not ampetu, ampetu. So I'm going to put a TD on that one. Hayetu. So I'll just give you an example of that. So later on, we'll be going into that. I just wanted to share that while that's all fresh on my mind. I got ADHD, guys, so I jump around all over. Pardon me? I didn't take my medication. That's why I'm talking so fast. Don't take your medication. You're a better teacher when you're like that. Yeah. 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 And so remember this word you too is so important. You can actually go in your book here and realize it's a causation word. So you could take, like, again, you washte to make it good, you shicha. Think of all kinds of other you words you could think of. Yuaka to make it sacred. Yuaka. I used to hear that one too a long time ago. Upia. There's another one. Upia. Pia is to heal or to be healed or something like that. But when you put you in front of there, it's they made them healed. Upia, right? Upia. You made it good, or you made it healed up, or you made it. We'll go into that later on. Yuska, you made it white, but that's the word for cleaning. Yeah, you can make it clean, make it clean. And then so where we went into next was de is this, he is that. Yeah. You could go he that. He. De. This. There was a song, yeah. Hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, hala. Hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, hala. Wakadia be watching day. Aguya be watching day. Hey, Wanji. Hey, Wanji. Ah, yo, hey. That's an old song. I asked Grandpa what that meant. Oh, he's singing about he wants bread. Which one? That one. That one. Hey, Wanji. Hey, Wanji. Like that. It's an old song. Grandpa used to say they used to make songs that don't mean anything at all. They just make it for fun. You know? And so rather than Grandpa say, I want this, I want that, he made a song out of be watching day, like that. And then they joke around. Our grandpas were fun. You know why our grandpas were so fun? Because life was boring. We didn't have phones, TV, nothing. So the only entertainment we had was each other, and we got good at it. We make each other laugh. We make each other laugh. And so, okay, de, he, de, here, or this, that. Oh yeah, we'll go into here and there later on too. Okay, dena, these. So you can put two things in front of you and say dena. Denamita, these are mine. Denamita, these are mine. Denamita, henanita, those are yours. Henanita, those are yours. Henna, dena, these and those. And so I'll stop there and let my voice relax for a bit and let Tumi share maybe her Humpty song or however, whatever she wants to do. Maybe you can take a little break for 5 minutes. Yeah, okay. Yeah, 15 minutes, we'll be back. Yeah, good.